Thank you so much. Welcome everybody. Good afternoon. I'm speaking English because I think more people understand English than German. So I'm trying to explain what's going on in Germany economically and locally with regard to renewable energies. Something very difficult because our Minister of responsible for renewable energies in Germany, Mr. Gabriel, does not understand it. So I hope I can explain it to you so that you, after this little session, will be able to understand it. It's about added value, regional added value, something which does not exist economically. You can find added value in economics, but not regional added value. It's something we use. And that's already a kind of difficulty we have. So I'm coming from a very innovative, unique place. It's the only zero-emission university in the world. We have been using renewable energies for 20 years now, fully supplied with regard to heat, cold, and power by a biogas plant, using our own waste, using, of course, solar thermal, photovoltaics, and geothermal. Everything is combined, so it's a unique place to visit. I warmly invite you to come to us, where we educate our students, even lawyers and even engineers. They have to go through this. Though there is no way to deny it after they leave our campus. Very important. So we force them to look into these technologies, and we force them on business plans on this. And after this, there is a kind of awareness created. Well, let me start with a typical German feature, our permanently existing Angst. We are afraid of everything, you know this, and we're also afraid of Energiewende now. We have 35% electricity by renewables and something like 12% of primary energy demand, and we are afraid. We are afraid of everything. Costs too high, all birds die, then our environment is sacrificed, blackouts and other very, very special diseases and illnesses we are talking about. So that's why we have a big discussion going on right now. We were front runner, but now we are falling behind. I have a lot of slides which I will freely give to you, so I'm not explaining every slide in detail. Just to maybe look up some of my data is important for you. Our 35% electricity, I gave you the figures for our installed capacity and the work we get from this. We have a lot in Germany, and we have a lot of protests right now. So when I built my first biogas plant, it was a kind of tourist attraction. When I built my last one, I was nearly killed. When I took my first visitors to a wind power plant, they were all happy that the rotors were moving. When I take my people today to wind power plant, they are hopefully awaiting that they're not moving. So it's really changed a lot, and I cannot exactly explain where the change is coming from. I will try a little bit. So I have to show you these two slides because if you come to this place today awaiting that Germany could really help you in getting a quick head start on renewable energy, 100% supply, then I must really frustrate you. This is what our government just decided. This is our new roadmap for renewable energies. This is the electricity demand we will have, including heat, including transportation. This is what we decided to have by 2050. By the laws we just passed. Very few people understand this, only if you look at what's going on, if we follow the decisions taken right now. And this is what we need. Yeah, this is our energy demand, mainly electricity, and then this is what we need in the different fields of renewables: solar, wind, onshore, offshore, biomass, and water. So right now there's no really idea how we can achieve the policy goals we have till 2050. Okay, if you talk about money, and I'm going to talk about money because if you can show a politician that he can make money, if you can show a private person that he can make money, she can make money, things are getting easier. I don't believe in the idealists. I don't believe in all the happy and nice people and all the ethical people. They are not making the show. The show is done by other people, and we have to convince them. That's why I'm talking about money. This is to show you where we can actually make money by energy. importing energy, transporting energy, then distributing energy, and taxing energy. And whenever you change something in the existing energy system, you have to fight people making money in all those steps. They're having now a lot of cash in their pockets, and if you remove a step, then they have not so much cash in their pockets anymore, or you have cash in other pockets. Well, energy, we just have a brand new study in Germany. Is it expensive to have renewable energy supply in 2050? No. If you have a kind of fossil energy price increase like this, yes, if you have a fossil price increase like this. So if you have a very cheap gas and oil scenario and cheap carbon emission certificates, then we will have an additional amount of money we need in Germany by 2050 of 6 to 10 billion euro a year, which is not much money for Germany, but it's enough money to get people nervous. So depending on those two scenarios, we will actually subsidize renewables in 2050, or we will make money from renewables. Now, I'm tending to believe in this scenario. By 2050, other people tend to believe in this scenario. Well, if you look into the money flow in Germany, which you have from fossils, and Germany in 2014 paid 100 billion euro for importing fossil energy. The year 2000 to 2013, we used nearly 830 billion euro to import non-sustainable, non-value-adding oil, gas, and coal. Nearly 3.5% of our German domestic product we are using for this. Until 2030, we will use something like 2 billion euro for importing fossil energies. You know, the whole change of our energy supply in Germany is calculated, estimated on a very conservative estimation. Conservative means very high priced, of 1 billion. So this would be double the amount of money we will use for importing. So let's talk about power. This is our energy market. In Africa, it would be a monopoly. In Germany or Europe, it's called a market. 4 big companies supplying us. And they are making net revenues after taxes. Yeah? And they are using this money, of course, to keep their market going. Not complaining about this. This is a business, but they should openly state this. So let's say in 2010, they had a net revenue of something like 11 billion euro. The money the Germans pay for investing in a renewable energy system per year is 16 billion euro. Here we are complaining heavily, or some people are complaining heavily. About this, nobody ever complained. This was like religion. It's there. Yeah? Okay, let's talk about a little bit of subsidies. I have to explain you to this because later on you will see huge amounts of money we allocate in local systems, and you will ask yourself, where is this money coming from? It's always there. You're only misallocating it right now. Okay, so this is the money we pay for renewable energies in 2016, nearly 140 billion euro. You know, it's a big scandal. Too much money for not enough kilowatt hours. Big political discussion. And this is the money we pay for nuclear power. This is the money we pay for lignite. And this is the money we pay for coal, hard coal. So all in all, since the 70s, we paid something like 500 billion euro for fossils, and they're getting more expensive. We paid this for renewables, or we're paying it every year. No, we paid it 2016 for renewables, and they're getting cheap already. So that's why I fully support what the French speaker before this morning actually said. Now it's getting a little bit more difficult. Fossil system, very simple. You will see this chart many more times in my presentation. We put fossil energy in, we use it very inefficiently, and we get money out. Clever system, European system. Now people, they substitute this fossil in by a little bit renewables, invested by big people, big money. Then we have a little bit a greener system, but the money is still leaving our communities. So what we need is investment from locals to switch from fossil to renewables. This is a sustainable energy supply. Oh, this is very difficult. For politicians, it's nearly not possible, so I hope I will make it transparent for you. This is investment in renewables in Germany. Investment. Renewable energies is investment. Coal power is spending. There's a difference between spending and investing. If you spend, then your pockets are sooner or later empty. If you invest, your pockets are refilling themselves. Economists know. Engineers have problems. So we invest maybe 1 billion, and then we get the money back. When the fossils are more expensive, we get the money back. And this is a limited triangle, so we can exactly say how much money we need. We can make scenarios, we can estimate, but we can have an exact amount of money. And then this triangle is open. Yeah? So there's a payback happening after 20 years or 25 years. Payback in cash and a payback in society activities and environment and climate protection and so on. Well, many studies showing this. Fraunhofer did it 3 years ago. If you switch from renewables, from fossil to renewables, then we switch from 120 billion euro full costs per year to 120 billion euro full costs per year renewables. Now, this is fossil, this is renewable. If we include the mobility sector, then today we have 260 billion because driving combustion engine cars is the most stupid thing you can do. You have an overall efficiency of something like 15%. You cannot easier waste energy than driving combustion engine car. So that's why this is expensive. Yeah, and if you switch to electric cars, like the Danish speaker said, and powered by renewables, this would be the yearly full costs. Huge investment involved, but we are talking about capital costs. And renewable energies, they have 90% capital costs, 10% operation costs. Fossils have 80% in operation costs and 20% investment costs. So if you have low money interest market, then you should invest in renewables. A very complicated chart we are using to convince our smart people. I also have my problem with smart cities and smart grids because we are meeting with more and more smart grids, more and more stupid people. This will not work. Yeah? So to explain somebody why he should insulate his house, or why she should insulate her house, 2,500 euro oil costs a year, 4% price increase per year. It was 6 2 years ago, it's 2 right now. Then over 30 years, this is the duration of insulation, warranty you get from a craftsman. Then you pay 140,000 euro only for heating your house. You still have a stupid house. No? Then you can take maybe 2/3 of this for investing in your house. No? Means insulating it, saving on the money, and then you can use the saving on heating to pay back for the insulation. Yeah? So your house gets kind of a storage for money and for cash. This we calculate for many. This is one house. But because you're talking to mayors normally, they are thinking about many houses, at least 2 houses. Otherwise, you cannot be mayor. So, little village today and tomorrow, little village today. No? We have heating costs, energy, electricity costs, 400 people, 150 houses, a very poor village in our mountain range in Hunsrück, many villages like this. So they pay 500,000 euro. What do they get? They just get heating, a little bit light, a little bit comfort. No added value, no development perspective, no innovation, no climate protection, no resource security. So, actually nonsense. If this village take this money, yeah, and use this money to pay back on a new system which they themselves invest, what the cooperative guy mentioned this morning, then they get, for the same costs, yeah, they get security, they get district heating systems, they get additional amenities like maybe personnel they can use to take care for the elderly people. So switching from here means switching from spending to investing. When my African mayors, we're working a lot in Africa, running a very big institute, my African mayors, they tell me, we are too poor to invest in renewable energies. Then I answer, no, you are too poor because you don't invest. If you never invest, you also will be poor. So you have to invest in your potentials, otherwise you have no chance. All the ideas are not from me, they're very old, like many good things in history. Mr. Raiffeisen, he was a mayor in Rheinland-Palatinate, the state where I'm coming from, and he said something very clever. He said, the money of the village for the village. If you look for the euro, where the euro goes when you pay for energy bill, then you can see a lot of things happening when you switch the euro from spending to investing. Unfortunately, nobody cares in our villages. in our cities and our governments, they don't look after the euro. Well, they want to tax the euro, yes, but to add value by allocating the euro properly, very few people are aware and are capable, because we have to think about a lot of financing issues. Not talking about economics, we're talking about financing. Who gives a poor guy money? Huh? If you're poor, you don't get money. Banks are only lending money to rich people. Few examples. This is a poor village in Brandenburg, 6,500 households. Every year they pay nearly 40 million euro for fossil energies. 20% jobless people, no idea how to get rid of their debt. This is quite well-off village near close to Mainz. They are paying every year something like 50 million euro for traffic, electricity, heat, and water and waste. We did not talk so much today about the other nonsense we are doing in waste and wastewater. Billions of money spent, wasted on this, and if you calculate the energy you can gain from this by just switching from spending energy on treating wastewater to gaining energy from treating wastewater, technically not the option, not a problem. So if you add this, then you can see there's a lot of money they can work with. If they tell me they don't have money to make a change in energy, I tell them you have the money, it's here. You're just spending it right now. Even poor people spend. Even a poor African farmer spends $5 a month for a little bit kerosene for his lamp. This is a county, the county of Birkenfeld. The mayor of Birkenfeld is here. He came with me. He will join a workshop this afternoon. He did a lot in his community. They are spending actually 220 million euro a year on fossils. This is the second poorest county in my state. Well, they have little competition. There's another county who's the worst. This year, I think he's second worst. And they're sitting right in the best places for wind in my state, and they're sitting in the forest. And they didn't do anything till 10 years ago. Now they're doing something, especially the community of Birkenfeld is doing a lot. They're trying to use this money, which they're spending anyway now, they're trying to use this money to pay back on new energy systems. Well, to explain on a very simple method what we are doing, as a material flow manager, I'm a material flow management professor. This is a system, community, also companies. Companies are a little bit better, but still bad. They're importing energy or other things. We could also talk about food or water, whatever, and they pay. On the other hand, they have huge potential they are consequently ignoring. Don't know, don't have, cannot, should not, nobody told me. Don't understand. Potentials are there, and we have a very simple bypass system. And this only works because we are subsidizing those systems, giving them money from somewhere else. Well, what we need to do, and what's happening in many places in Europe right now, many places in Germany as well, we are not talking about autarky. You see, we are still having this exchanges with neighboring systems, but our main backbone of system is the strength we're developing with our own potentials. What we can do, we should do, and only what we cannot do, we should do with somebody else. This is the basic idea of free trade. You should trade with people who are actually developing their own strength. Then you have local money is invested in local people, human capacity building, and local potentials. And there's a lot of things we can do. Water, wastewater I mentioned. Food, very difficult thing, but also very interesting. Excess heat, waste heat. We talked about this previously. The whole biomass sector. I also totally agree. Biomass is a very sensitive resource. We should use it very, very carefully, but it's a very important resource. And the whole renewable energy sector. Give you an easy example. What happens if you exchange fossil by renewable? Here we have a boiler working gas or oil, you have a tank wagon coming or a pipeline coming, and then you can create heat or heat and power. If you don't want to have this, you have to create a whole new system. You have to harvest, you have to transport, you have to store, you have to chop, you have to chip, you have to transport again, you have to try, and then you have to invest in a much more expensive conversion technology, 3 times more expensive. Every step is a headache. That's why many people say, oh, no, impossible. I don't understand. And if I understood, if I could not pay for it, because this is maybe 3 or 4 times more expensive by investment. But what we all know, working with this, if you convert here biomass instead of oil and gas, the cheaper price of biomass makes up for all those steps. And then this step, they create actually labor, human labor, and they create investment, machine investment. And this is paid by the lower price for biomass here. So the kilowatt hour here, maybe with biomass, it's 11 cents. With oil and gas right now, it's 10 cents. 1 cent difference. 2 years, it was the opposite. And then all this is new business. It's sustainable growth, what we all are looking for. This is how we grow without taking more. We take different and we take less, and we create growth. Efficiency was a topic. I'm not going to talk about this in extensio, but I want to just show you one thing which which I'm using to convince my mayors to stop doing something very stupid. This is a energy-saving street light. No? Energy-saving street light. There is no investment cost. The blue part is an investment, the capital cost. I removed it because this light they get free from our electricity market, from power companies. They get it free. Always be aware when you get something free. They get it free, and this is then the operation and maintenance costs. Yeah? Operation maintenance costs. If you have an LED light which you have to purchase for a very high price, you have to lend money, so it's expensive. Yeah? So don't do it. You take this, don't do this because this is expensive. Then you see what happens. It's so simple. Even my first semesters understand this. Yeah? Don't take gifts. No chocolate from strangers. Yeah? So do this. Okay, I'm not talking about biogas in detail. Land use, very important. We have to develop a multi-diverse land use structure. We get more biomass from a hectare, more sustainable if we change the way how we think about landscape management. I want to explain it with a very simple example from a hedge, a very stupid farmer's hedge. This hedge actually creates a lot of value. It creates erosion prevention. It creates nutrient leakage into the groundwater. But this all is not paid for. Also, the carbon storage is not paid for. What is paid for is this. This hedge is creating something like up to 10,000 liters of oil equivalent per hectare. This is the message. So if I map hedges, I get a lot of benefits, but the benefit is, which is interesting for the farmer, is oil. And what he needs, the farmer, is a mayor who develops a system, district heating, to purchase the oil. If you get this together, then the hedge is going to grow, and then you have a lot of environmental, aesthetic, and biological benefits. We are actually creating a lot of those hedges in our daily business. Okay, district heating systems, technical aspects, no time. We want to come to the money aspect, but I just want to show you we're developing 10, 20 bioenergy villages a year. So we're always working on this. 5 minutes, are you serious? Okay. Added value. Context for the local economy. Banks turnover, so if you lend money from the banks, they get a benefit from the interest, saving of costs for the public households and the private households, revenues from the operation of new companies, selling biomass to farmers' income from selling biomass, for example, leasing of land, income, then image and a kind of security of energy supply and environment protection. I always put it at the last of the list because nobody cares. You care. All the other ones not. I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm a kind of realistic now. We have to use a different language. Okay, let me give you this slide. I have many of those. We did calculations for many, many villages about added value. This is the county of Birkenfeld, the second poorest county in my state. If they invest in their potentials, like renewable energies, like energy saving, insulation of houses and biomass and all those things, well, then they can invest 7 billion euro. If they invest 7 billion euro, they have savings and revenues of 37 billion euro. They will have costs of 24 billion euro. Costs in this context means income of other local stakeholders. My costs for operating a wind turbine means money I have to give to the bank as interest payment, and costs for maintenance workers. If those people are in my area, they have the income. So we add all this up, we depreciate 20 years, when we reinvest, and we sum it up to 2050. So if they did the potentials they have, then they would have added value till 2050 of 25 billion euro. This is a poor county, 90,000 people living there, yeah? And they don't know how to attract a company from the neighboring poor county to get some added value. So investing in their potentials means they can get a growth, a value out of their own substance, out of their own tissue. This is what we try to explain. The problem they have is ignorance, stupidity, lack of access to money if they want to do it. Yeah? And of course, technical barriers. They have to have know-how from outside coming to show them how to do it. This other county, the poorest this year, same. 7.5 million euro investment, and then we have an added value of something like 13 billion euro. So always double digit. Yeah, we did this for also the 6 counties, well, and different scale, but always double-digit added value if they invest in their own potentials. The basic message is it's not costing you more. It's just costing you more effort to look for the money, and you must have a proper master planning to know how to invest and where to invest. Don't do the stupid things first, like traffic. It's a very difficult thing. You're wasting your time and your power before you can succeed, you will be actually exhausted. This is what we did for our state. We calculated if we follow the 100% renewable energy electricity till 2030, how many new jobs we could have. It was exactly 7,100 new jobs, which they could create by following the strategy of 100% renewable power in this state. So we work with our government, we try to show them what's happening. It's a net balance, so we deducted the jobs which are going to be lost, of course. Or the added value for the whole state, if you go for this 2030 renewable energy full supply, then the people would have 8.2 billion euro more in their pockets. The public would have 2 billion euro more in their pockets. All in all, we're talking about something like 18 billion euro, which we can distribute new to other stakeholders, money which we don't give to our four market stakeholders and to Saudi Arabia, Russia, and other countries. So we're deducting this money from the expenses for fossils and we reallocating it to people locally. Final 2 slides. I'm fully convinced economically this will work because we have been doing this for such a long time. We're working very small communities, big communities, counties. We even we did a lot of work in China and Turkey. Turkey right now no more, but we have a lot of things calculated in this world. The problem we always have is how to avoid people protesting. So we give them shares. We have a famous saying in Germany, only my own shit does not stink. So if you give them shares of new business, they will be a little bit reluctant to work against it. And this we did very poorly in the last 15 years. We were happy to have kilowatt hours, green development. Yeah, statistics were very important, but not the people. And now we get the repercussions. People are protesting because they don't like it, they don't want it, they have a lot of different issues. Some issues are tackled today in the afternoon here. And second thing, much more reasonable, is financing. They have to have a huge amount of money reallocated, taken from somewhere, stored in new systems. And you must find those people who want to reallocate the money. Yeah? divestment. So, but if you want to have a divestment, you must have the projects for this. People want to divest. They want to take the money out of coal. But where are the projects? One village, 200,000 euro investment, forget it. 100 villages, 20 million euro, and then they start to talk to you. But who's developing 100 villages? Who's giving the money for developing these villages? So we have this problem. You must survive with due diligence by a bank. And this is not happening with things like this. This is very nice for us, but not for a banker. Yeah? But we are still coming from the environmental movement. We are still doing things very nicely, but we must do it professionally for those people having the money. And this is where we have a little problem. So what is participation? It's not information. It's not acceptance. Acceptance is something reactive. It's not just letting it happen, and it's not just being asked to be part of it. No, it's really making decisions. People are making decisions. People are making investments. People are a part of the operation. This is participation today. This is Agenda 21, which never worked. This is the new world. We really must involve people. They must be so deeply involved they will never protest again. And this is what we have to develop. And this is not easy. We must show them how they can get their pensions paid by wind turbines, solar thermal, district heating systems. When do we get acceptance by participation? If this participation is communicated on time, means before the project, not when it's already running. Well organized, if you have a lot of values generated which you can communicate. When it's more than just information, really involvement, when you have a kind of really having a share, physically having a share. And we have to involve people who cannot invest because they don't have cash to invest. Very important. No? Big discussion in Germany, how do poor people work with the Energiewende? No? How we can give them a share? There are models for this. And then this participation is making a lot of things easier. Even financing is easier if people give us the money. No? The people's purchasing power increases, so we have more money in the local economy. So if you succeed, also people getting trained, they're getting more clever. People in cooperatives, they talk about energy, difficult energy technology terms with a very easiness. Then it's very difficult to tell those people nonsense anymore because they are already on a high level, on a high technical educational level. Well, to make things more complicated, final slide. Every wind turbine, every solar system, every district heating system, every biogas plant must somehow be part of something like this. So we have a company organization, could be a cooperative, could be limited, could be a foundation. And this foundation is operating, or it's a holding structure, organizing many different businesses. They're all making money. So they're creating a business here, and part of the revenues, the surplus, you give into a not-for-profit foundation. And they are actually doing things which are not paid for, like home for elderlies, money for children, money for sports associations. Here, our Energiewende becomes visible as a benefit outside saving the world. And this is very important. So we generate money here, we make it a business, and we transfer all of the money here, and we make the world a little bit better outside saving the climate. Because not so many people are aware that we need to save the climate anymore. Well, the future depends on what we do today. I hate it to talk about tomorrow. And always when you're young, no longer so young anymore, but the young boy, this all will happen in the future. We will do it sooner or later. It will happen. I hate it. We must do it today, now. Right now, when we're sitting here, when we leave in the breakfast, in the coffee breaks, we should talk about what to change. This is what Mahatma Gandhi said, and I fully subscribe to this. Thank you very much for your patience.
So if you will wait for just a moment, and we can take some questions from the audience. If you are ever told that the Germans don't have a sense of humor, you can say, well, I met one. Do we have any questions? I have a lot of questions. You have in the back.
Hello, thank you and congratulations for your presentation. I just want to mention I'm a wind farm project developer here in Belgium. So I fully agree with your participation slide. I think you just understood everything about what has to be done. Just one question for you, and I hope you have the answer because we're looking for it for 2 years now. We have a participation committee in every single new project we develop. So it means this is a committee which follow different steps of the project, which mean development, construction, and operation. There are people representative of reference, like people living very close to the project, the developer, the promoter, and the municipality. And then we send nominative mail via, I would say, normal postal traditional way. The last time, it was 1 month ago, we sent close to 5,000 nominative letter, and we got 4 answers and 2 people at the meeting. So if you have the answer, how could people come really and get more interest of these committee? And because of course we also work with the cooperatives, and they are here today, so we're glad that we can work with them. But just how can we make that people really who are not into this cooperative movement can come to our meeting and can get a real interest in our project? And if you have the answer, that would be fantastic, really.
Pay them. Pay them. I'm not kidding. If you offer, those people, they give you their free time, they give you their lifetime. It's your project, and you invite them. And what's happening always to the people, those in the villages, we have big ideas, big projects, the government, me as professor, and we always expect those people to come and spend their private time to work with us. And they don't get anything back normally, or a little bit, if it works. So if you make, for example, it can say, okay, we are talking about stakes or shares, which we are going to distribute, and those people contributing permanently to our process, they will get a rebate on a share. Then people will come because they see an immediate benefit for them, and then you can start talking to them. When a supermarket has a special offer to attract people, they normally make something cheap and not expensive. The market, they attract all those people. They go to supermarkets to buy the third stupid thing. They already have 5. But they buy it because the market works differently with those people, and only we expect them to come freely and take part and make it possible that you develop your wind park. If you appease them all, they are not supposed to protest by joining your committees, and then you will have your huge margin. You must communicate that the margin you think they can have can happen immediately, and then I think it will work. So my agenda process I'm paying people. I'm organizing virtual shares, and if they take part, and projects are developed, then they can turn the virtual share into a real share. This is how we must attract people today in a world where so many information and people can do many other things instead of spending the evenings with quite boring people. Not you personally, but.
Okay, so maybe one more question so we can try to stay a little bit in time, all the way up front, so I'll give you the microphone here.
Ja, ich werde meine Frage auf Deutsch stellen. Also bei der ganzen Zahlenauflistung vermisse ich einen Aspekt, oder ich habe nicht feststellen können. Der Umweltaspekt zum Beispiel, Berücksichtigung von Artenvielfalt, Berücksichtigung von Verlusten auf Tourismus. Wenn ich zum Beispiel, ich bin Eifeler auf der belgischen Seite, in Büllingen mich stelle, Manderfeld, und schaue Richtung Deutschland, dann sehe ich eine Wand vor mir, eine Wand von Windkraftanlagen. Das mag alles sehr rentabel sein, alles sehr interessant sein für die Leute. die da investiert haben, aber welchen Einfluss hat das zum Beispiel auf den Tourismus in dieser Region? Geht der Tourismus zugrunde? Stellen Sie etwas fest? Wie ist es mit der Artenvielfalt in diesem Bereich? Darauf hätte ich gerne eine Antwort. Haben Sie das berücksichtigt in Ihren Zahlen?
Ja, also in meinen Zahlen ist es nicht drin, weil man es nicht wirklich genau ökonomisch evaluieren kann, aber die Studien, die es bisher gibt zum Tourismus an der Nordsee, wo wir schon seit 20 Jahren Windturbinen haben, da gibt es keinen Rückgang. Und wir fragen auch, Touristen werden befragt und es gibt keinen Tourist, der sagt, ich komme deswegen nicht mehr. Es gibt Touristen, die sagen, ja, es war schöner, als sie nicht da waren, aber ich komme deswegen nicht mehr. Gibt es keine signifikante Zusammenhänge zwischen Tourismus und den Windturbinen. Hier in den Mittelgebirgslagen ist es ja ein bisschen sensibler, weil wir haben weniger Tourismus und die Landschaft ist viel vielfältiger. Es gibt ganz banale Antworten. Wenn Sie einen Windpark nehmen, vom Umsatz her bringt natürlich viel mehr Geld als die Menge Touristen, die wegen diesem Park nicht kommen könnten. Das ist für die Region gesehen klar, aber für die einzelnen Tourismusanlagen betreiben natürlich keine Hilfe. Ja, das heißt, es müsste, und das spreche auch die Windparkentwickler wieder an, das gilt auch für die Natur und da habe ich wirklich ganz große Bauchschmerzen, weil da viele dumme Dinge laufen auch. Wir müssten einen Fonds machen, aus dem die Windkraftanlagen, der aus den Windkraftanlagen mitfinanziert wird, wo wir eventuell negative Wirkungen in dem Bereich auffangen, indem wir quasi andere Attraktivitäten schaffen oder eben auch Tourismusströme umlenken und neu definieren. Ich persönlich, ich kenne keinen Holländer, der nicht mehr in den Hunsrück kommt, weil wir dort Windanlagen gebaut haben. Und wir sind für Holländer im Hunsrück relativ berühmt. Die kommen immer noch, weil sie wegen anderen Dingen kommen, Anlagen auch gewöhnt sind bei sich zu Hause. Das ist ganz ohne Einfluss bleibt das, glaube ich, auch nicht. Es gibt Leute, die wollen die Anlagen zu Hause nicht, die fahren nicht dorthin, wo welche stehen. Das haben wir auch. Vielleicht noch ein Satz zur Biodiversität. Es ist unheimlich dämlich, was läuft im Bereich der Diskussion über Biodiversität und Windkraft oder auch Solaranlagen, weil eigentlich haben wir einen Artenschwund ohne Windkraft die letzten 30 Jahre, der dramatisch ist. Jeder, der meint, mit Windkraft gegen Biodiversität arbeiten zu können, muss sich mal anschauen, was wir hatten ohne Windkraft. Das System ist nicht nachhaltig zu gestalten, so wie jetzt die Kulturlandschaft gepflegt wird. Ich bin studierter Ökologe. Das heißt, das System läuft sowieso an die Wand. Und was wir machen könnten, wenn wir clever wären, wenn wir unsere Kraft nicht dafür brauchen würden, uns gegenseitig zu bekämpfen, wir könnten mit Windturbinen, die ja sehr viel Geld auf dem Hektar generieren, die Biotope wirklich pflegen und erhalten, die unsere Rotmilane brauchen. Rotmilane sind Kulturfolger. Kultur änderte, ist der Rotmilan weg. Genau wie der Feldhamster. Das verstehen viele Leute einfach nicht. Wir müssen das Geld, was die Energiewende bringt, und da ist sehr viel Geld im Spiel, die müssen wir nutzen, um unsere Biotope zu erhalten. Das heißt, ganz brutal gesagt, wir werden an manchen Orten Tiere vergräben, aber dafür an anderer Stelle sie beherbergen und pflegen und einladen. Und das muss in der Region gemanagt werden und das muss auch vernünftig gemacht werden. Da gibt es viele Defizite, gebe ich Ihnen völlig recht. Da arbeiten wir nicht richtig gut. Das lernen wir gerade alles erst auf die harte Tour, dass wir eben nicht einfach bauen können und dann hoffen können, dass die wenigen Studien, die wir machen, oder vielen Studien, das automatisch alles gut machen. Wir müssen das im Konsens machen, aber auch dann mit naturwissenschaftlich belegbaren Daten und Fakten arbeiten. Und da muss man einfach mal zur Kenntnis nehmen, die Benchmark ist katastrophal, die wir haben. Schauen Sie rote Artenlisten in Deutschland an, die werden jedes Jahr länger. Trotz Milliarden, die wir da reinschieben und ohne Wind auch. Ne? Und da denke ich, wäre es eine Chance mit Wind, die wir nutzen sollten, weil sie werden kommen, die Anlagen, wir werden sie brauchen, wir werden die Energiewende machen müssen. Es gibt keine Option, also sollten wir so machen, dass ihre Systeme besser werden und dass auch die anderen Systemprofiteure wie Tourismusbetriebe eben möglichst wenig leiden oder sogar Sekundäreffekte haben. Ein Problem ist da, gebe ich Ihnen recht, aber ich halte es für ein lösbares.
All right, thank you very much then, Professor Heck. And